Sarah, you set such a high bar that, to be honest, I'm become nervous after what you said. Good morning. My name is Beata, and it is an absolute pleasure to be in front of you today. To be honest, last year, sitting in the audience, and I actually thought to myself, maybe one day I will be at this stage. Well, as they say, be careful what you wish for. Let's go back in time. It is 1999. I am a 15-year-old girl, having no clue what to do with my life. I've listened to my parents who advised me to go hospitality school and graduate with an occupation. I was still going to do in uni, to do masters, but in my parents' opinion, we would already have to give some sort of start if I would do that. Back in the days, and we are talking about Poland, I'm from Poland, restaurants were closed on Sundays and all bank holidays, Christmas. It was an entirely different world. So I think no one thought how many years later everything will change and how many sacrifices will be there. Fun fact, neither of my parents work in hospitality. My mother is a doctor and my father is an engineer. And boy, oh boy, they were right. I had so much fun. We had cooking lessons on a weekly basis, plenty of events, first proper jobs, weddings, proms, name it, we did it. 2004, uni starts. I have an opportunity to work and travel. I'm studying hard, passing my exams in March, and leaving country all the way until November. First stop, Belgium. It was a big reality check. It was 5 of us, and only 2 of us lasted the entire trip. It was a restaurant right by the sea on a promenade in Ostend, very busy place. 14, 16-hour days, sometimes 3 weeks without a day off. Loads of tears, nervous breakdown, couple visits to A&E. But I've managed. Surprisingly, things changed. It was still very hard, but myself and a friend who lasted became friends with the owner. And later during the year, with all expenses paid, we'd come to help with during busy periods. It was a fantastic financial boost, especially for a student. Later, I decided to go to US, and my oh my, that was an adventure. It was a private club. We had a lot of different events, surf and turf, golf night outs, themed bar mitzvahs, weddings, disco nights, cigar nights. It was like in a movie. Money was not an object. Sometimes for different events, they would even make us special outfits just for that occasion. I was absolutely fascinated. One day my manager said, oh, let's go to florist. In my head, florist, what I never seen flowers in my life before. I was so wrong. They had massive storages, just dedicated just for tables and chairs, flowers, linen. It was absolutely fascinating. As you can see, years later, I still remember this moment. Ivana was my first manager who actually took time in team developing. She spoke with each team member. She organized wine courses, service courses. She took us on trips. For example, we went around 5-star hotels in New York City. One of them was Mandarin Oriental. She also understood that after 10th night, we need a bit of fun too. So most of the nights, just before we actually start to clean everything, we would have a little bit of dance-off or some food, and then we would finish the job. We always enjoyed those breaks, and I need to admit, I do the same now with my team. She also saw that I have a passion for what I do. I received my first supervisory role in one of the outlets. This was the moment when hunger for more was born. 2009, I graduate uni. I want to stay in Poland. I'm trying to find myself, and it's not easy. Unfortunately, only job I can find in my field is waitress. Nobody cares that I have experience from abroad. I hear, this is there, and you are here. There are 2 different realities. Way of thinking of change now, a lot. So I started work in one of the restaurants in the hotel, but shortly after, I was fed up. I flew to Scotland, found a job, returned to Poland, packed all my belongings. That came 3 times to grab all my stuff. At that point, I already lived for 8 years, so I had quite a few items. Just to say, it was one journey one way, 4 hours one way, so good that. Gave my notice to work, bought tickets, and the next day I'm getting a call, do you want to come for an interview in Poland? Basically, one of the restaurants who was in Warsaw decided, the owner, that he wants to open the restaurant in Poznań. He was from that place. He was very sentimental, so he decides that he wants to expand his business. was very hesitant about that. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go, but they said, doesn't hurt to talk. Let's talk. I stayed 3 years. The same time, another person was hired, and we've been told that for 3 months there will be sort of a competition between two of us who will receive a managerial role. Soon after, I found out that GM and the guy are really good friends and also used to work together. I think I don't have to tell you who got the promotion. I stayed. I still enjoyed the place and really had a fantastic team. Funny enough, even when the manager was not on the shift, I was the one who took all responsibilities, and team somehow was coming directly to me for all the directions. At some point, I've been told that there will be opening another restaurant very close to my hometown, and I will have a perspective to take over that place. So I stayed. During those 2.5 years, nothing changed. Christmas is coming, and every year we had a staff dinner out, around 22 of us. And it was usually the time when owner would come and would announce who will receive a next promotion. Let's picture it. Everyone dressed festively, my boy standing and gives fantastic speech, how beautiful year we had, and says, and now it's the time we've been all waiting for. 20 heads turn on to me, and now it's like in a slow motion video. And promotion goes to Mr. XYZ. My jaw dropped. I stood up, gave a handshake to the guy who got the offer. He whispers to me, I'm sorry. And a few minutes later, I left the toilet to basically cry. My world just fallen apart. The worst part was that he didn't even want this offer. What happened there, I probably would never know. Even GM was convinced this was my night. 2 days later, I come to work and I gave my notice. I stayed a few more months just to save some money, and later I did some traveling. Just before Christmas, I'm moving to UK. It is 2012. I have started my work in the hotel near Gatwick Airport, again as a waitress, very shortly after being promoted to a shift leader and then supervisor. At that point, I know I can't go any higher, as at the same time as I was hired, there was also another manager and his assistant hired. I've decided to move on and found a job in a Michelin restaurant as an assistant manager. It was different level of everything, menu, service, lots to learn. Unfortunately, 3 months into my job, my manager has left abruptly due to some misunderstanding with owners. I've been asked to step in. Oh, how naive I was. Looking back, I think I'm glad I was that way because I didn't know what to expect. Tremendous amount of abuse from chefs, waiters in tears on a daily basis. No support from owners, but show must go on, and it did, for a year. Somewhere in the middle of all of this, I'm meeting my husband. We have decided it's time to move on. We're moving to Oxfordshire. I found a job as a manager in a gastropub with Michelin recommendation and 3 rosettes. Both owners very much involved. She's front of the house and he's a head chef. After 10 months of working 12 to 14 hours days, it took its toll. I had enough. I had kind of sort of burnout. I decided to leave, and I left actually to Poland for a few months. In 2016, I'm starting job at Trump Tambury. First as a head waiter, I did not want too many responsibilities, but soon after as a senior head waiter, supervisor, and then assistant manager. Massive team, up to 50 people, age 15 to 54. That was a huge challenge. Loads of lessons. This can be honestly to be different presentations just about that. That was a very interesting time because we had an absolute amazing amount of people coming with the royal family, presidents, ambassadors, just amazing. 2020, due to this is still from Tambury, you can see with the president when he visited us at that time, my parents and my husband. 2020, due to my husband's jobs, we are moving to Aberdeen. I'm finding a job at 5 farms in Braemar. COVID starts. We are more in lockdown than actually at work. In the meantime, I continue my workshops with young people. Every time when I'm in Poland, I'm going back to my high school and sharing my knowledge with them. February 14th, 2021, someone recommends great ice cream and eggs. I'm discovering Forest Farm. At that time, there was milk vending hut and self-service shop. Gelateria is built at this stage. I say to my husband, this would be a lovely place, nice, quiet, no more night hours, and we just left. April 2021. Gelateria is officially open since March. They are looking for a manager. I did not want to apply for a job, but I went shopping and Angus, one of the owners, came in. We started to have a chat. He said, would you like to come and chat for longer with my brother and myself? I said, yeah, sure, why not? Long story short, a few days later, I gave notice to Five Farms. Five Farms is the oldest organic dairy farm in Scotland. We milk around 140 cows. We sell milk directly, and we also produce gelatos. Annually, we welcome more than 200 customers. On a daily, very busy day, we can scoop up to 300 gelatos per hour. We started with a very small team. In the shop, we had 5 staff members and myself. Now in the season, we have up to 15. In total, we have around 30 team members. That includes production, pizza, shop, and farm. Building a team at Forest Farm wasn't easy. I gave myself a promise that life gave me all different managers, and I will pick only best traits from all of them. I always try to inform team on what is going to happen, what plans we're going to have, giving them a little bit of freedom in making decisions. Recruitment process for a full-time staff member in the shop or pizza takes ages and is an absolute nightmare. Unfortunately, location is one of the issues. However, we do not have a problem with finding part-timers. If you have a right attitude, I can teach you anything. I can proudly say that in the shop we have 2 team members who are with us since 2021, and on average people are staying around 1 year. We also have few returning summer staff and some staff who already left but still comes to us and help us on the BC services. From nice things, we normally do some nights out as well, Christmas party. We also do some farm tours, and we notice the staff, as soon as we have a new one, people actually requesting themselves that they want to see the farm where everything comes from. So, as you can see, this is actually one of the training. I had to find somehow how to approach young staff members, 17, 18, 19-year-old ones. I've noticed that a lot of things, like talking to them directly or showing them or doing SOPs, they just will remember for one day and they will forget. But this sort of short videos actually worked on many occasions. So if you want to learn TikTok, I would strongly recommend that. And as I like to say, it's not always unicorns and butterflies. We are communicating via WhatsApp, so every single thing goes in there. Everything has to be shown and explained in details. For example, how you should put the bin, how to do the laundry, how to use mop, why staff room is a mess, why you should not wear during the summer months. This was the real problem. So in the end, I just said to them, if you don't know what to wear, just send me a message and I will either say yes or no. Also, we not always have success stories. On few occasions, we had to let go staff member because they were trying to stir things up and create negative atmosphere in the team. Each time we would explain what is wrong, how can we address it, how can we improve things. Unfortunately, everyone comes with that baggage, and it's not always to leave that baggage behind you. This is always hard and feels like a personal failure. What was interesting that the bad behavior was actually flagged to us by the team members because the other team members were absolutely fine in front of us. One example I can give, the guy, that time assistant manager, it was a few years back, he actually asked team members to do the tea and then criticize how bad tea is and say that staff member does another much better tea, very wrong. I think sometimes we can also be a little bit too soft as we have a lot of part-time staff, and very often we would end up with many requests at the same day. But again, I prefer they would tell me in advance rather than later call in sick and lie. And to finish off, some of my mantras. Never tell off staff in front of the other team members. Stay by their side, even if they are wrong, and after explain why they were wrong. Encourage them. Have a social media, sometimes help them, do some post pictures. When there are complaints from the customers, let supervisor be somewhere around so line staff member knows we have their backs. Trust your guts. If you feel someone will not fit to your team, do not push it. Twice I did not listen to myself, and later I did regret. And to finish off, I had once a situation when the last customer of the day, and he was giving an absolute grief to the team member, and he was super condescending, and the girl was doing a gelato brick for him. And I actually had to step in and to say something to a customer and said, you know, my team is really trained, and they know what they are doing. Everything will be done to perfection. And the guy just said, oh, no, I didn't mean it. He just paid and left. And we started to clean up, and I overheard two team members talking to themselves when the girl said, you know, I'm so surprised how Beata said it, and I'm so proud that she thinks we are doing real things. For me, it was just a normal thing to step in and say it, and for them, it had such a big impact. And on this note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and thank you. Have a good day.